So today we're going to talk about really what happened at the end of the school year last year and how the school year began this year, because it was absolutely not what I expected it to be. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Learning with Law. This might be a little ranty, this video. It's going to be something that is a little bit different than I normally do, but I just wanted to update you on exactly what has happened over the summer, over the last few months, and I know I haven't been putting out as many videos as I wanted to. Initially, I had a different direction in which way the video was going to go, and I'm actually splitting it into two different videos. So I'm giving you an update today on what happened after I was promised this position at my old school. Remember, I made that video that I was leaving teaching or I quit teaching and this is what happened next. I'll link that here for you guys so you can check that out. But basically, here's what happened as a continuation of that. As I mentioned in the previous video, I was promised a position. It was actually called a Title I interventionist position in my school, in the school that I was currently teaching at. So that was at a high school here in Orange County, Florida. And I was promised this position. I was told it's basically yours if you want it. You'll be with 9th and 10th graders pushing into classrooms for basically at-risk students that scored poorly on the FSA, or students that just didn't do well on testing and needed that extra support. So for me, this sounded amazing because I am certified to teach special education as well as general education. And I really, really love working in co-teaching classrooms, inclusive classrooms. And this was kind of what I wanted to continue after I moved from Long Island down to Florida. I really wanted to work in a co-taught setting. So to me, that's what this position sounded like. My principal also mentioned that I would be in the testing room that they were going to design. It's like this new thing in our school. And once a week, I would be there supervising students that were doing testing. All this was promised to me at the end of May, actually on my birthday. My last day of work at this particular school. So I was told to follow up throughout the summer and look for the posting and make sure I applied to it, because if I wanted it, it was mine. So I did follow up. I didn't hear anything from my principal throughout the summer, and I followed up in, middle of July, since we start school the beginning of August. So I followed up with my principal and I received very alarming messages. This is all now via text message. And I was basically concerned that I wasn't going to have a job in August. The posting hasn't been, put up, and I was basically strung along for a couple of weeks in July until I took it upon myself to say, hey, I don't think this is going to work out for me, since school is starting in literally less than a week and I still have not even applied for this position. I didn't know if I was guaranteed to have this position. So all summer I thought I had a job that I didn't, so I could have been applying other places. So now I'm scrambling and I'm going on the OCPS website. I'm going on like the surrounding county. So now I'm looking at Osceola County to see what other options are available. And now that I know about this Title I interventionist position, I started looking for jobs that were like this position. Because at the end of the school year, I realized that teaching in Florida is a lot of work, a lot more work than in New York. And the pay is definitely not as good here. So, and I also have two videos that talk about the differences teaching on Long Island and teaching here in Florida. I will link one of the two up here, and there'll be more down in the description below, because I go in extensive detail as to the differences working in Florida and in New York. So if you want to check that out, that is there for you. So I decided that I didn't want to teach anymore, and that's how this position kind of came to be. So when I was looking for positions on the OCPS website and the Osceola County website, I was looking for those types of positions. Now, when I was looking at these positions, I also noticed that in doing my research on the schools that I was about to apply to, the schools were not really ranked highly in the county or in the state. So if you go to the website called niche.com, and I'll link that down below as well, that really helped me to do my research before I came to Florida to figure out which schools I wanted to apply to because I was walking in blind. And essentially, that's what I was doing now. I don't really know the area that well. So in looking up those schools, I realized these are not schools I want to be working at because their rating wasn't that high. Whether it was administrative or just the climate of the kids and things like that, it wasn't for me. So I was looking at other jobs. I looked at a reading specialist, and I was like, ooh, I don't really know what that is. And when you apply for schools in Orange County and Osceola County, they really don't give you a large description of what the position is. They just say something very general for every single position, whether it's an interventionist, a teacher, or whatever. They will say the same description. So I didn't really know what I was looking for unless I had heard of the title before. So I looked at this reading specialist position that was in Osceola County. So I decided to apply for that. I heard back from a specific school, and I was hearing back from a lot of schools, both in Orange County and Osceola County. Even if I didn't apply to those schools directly, my name had suddenly gotten out there. So my suggestion to you is if you're applying to schools in any of these counties, make a list of the schools you've applied to, because you might think you're getting a call back for a position that you applied for, and it might not be the school or the job that you applied for. So I would just keep a running tab of what you're doing. It's going to keep you way more organized, and you might end up on an interview for a place that you never applied for. So just watch out for that. So I went on this interview, and they had told me that actually they called me for another position, which was an ESE VE position, and I didn't know what that was. So I had a conversation with this woman over the phone, and she said that it's a VE teacher is basically a co-teacher. So I would be the special education teacher in the room. And I said, wait a minute, I didn't know that Florida did this. And this is something that I really wanted to do here in Florida.
In Florida, again, in the county that I am in, and I don't know if this is the entire state of Florida, I can't speak to that, there are no co-teaching models here yet. I am still working on that. I want to be a co-teacher in Florida, so we'll see what happens.
Finally, and the school that I was previously at did not have this position available. So I just assumed, hey, they don't do co-teaching in Florida. It's something new, but this school had it. So I said, this is exactly what I want to do. It's in English. It's special education. I'm certified in both. Let's roll with this. So in the interview, I basically had a choice of doing the reading teacher, which was basically what I was doing last year. So it's the bottom 25% of kids that scored on the FSA that didn't pass. They would be lumped into this one classroom. I would be teaching 6 of those classes with at least 25 kids. And I said, yeah, I don't want that. I would rather have the co-teaching sections. So they really, really wanted to give me the reading teacher position because they saw that I was extremely qualified for that. But they saw my passion was more leaning towards the VE position. So they offered me that position. So I had to then switch counties from OCPS to now Osceola County. And that was quite the process. So I'm going to actually make a video about that because there were a lot of steps involved in, what I needed to do. So now I was offered this position for 10th grade and 12th grade together. So I would be split. In the morning, I teach seniors, and in the afternoon, I teach sophomores. Again, this is the co-taught model, so I will not be alone. I will be the special ed teacher in the room. So this is the position that was offered to me. Now, the only issue I had was I still kind of have this other position at my other school that I was told that I have, and nobody told me I didn't have it. And now I'm offered this other position where I don't know anyone at the school. It's a half hour away. I need to pay tolls, but I kind of really liked the vibe there. And then I had my old school that I knew people, 15 minutes away, no tolls, but I'm not guaranteed this job. So I talked to my boyfriend. I talked to my best friend. I talked to a bunch of people about this, and they were all like, it seems like you're leaning towards the VE teacher. And I said, I know. So that is what I ended up doing, regardless of how far it is. I said, I need a job. I don't want to start in the middle of the school year because this other position wasn't guaranteed for me. So that is what I decided to do. There will be another video with an update from my first day of school along with how my first month went with this new position. So please, please, please make sure that you stick around for that. That'll be updated very shortly. And if this video gave you any insight whatsoever, or if you just like hanging out with me, please give me a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel because I am coming up with way more teaching videos this year. Some teachers say this year is more challenging than last year because now we have all of those kids from virtual right in front of our faces because we are fully in-person teaching right now, and we have some kids that were super behind because of last year and the half year prior to that. So way more videos are coming in, so stick around for that. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. Happy teaching.